What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Wolverine Swag Show. Got another episode here for you this week. We're going to dive into Michigan's road walk-off win against Northwestern, and then we will be previewing Maryland and the rest of the season. Before we begin, make sure to follow all of my pages on Instagram, TikTok, subscribe to the YouTube, turn on notifications so you never miss a podcast, a post, or anything like that. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's start with the Northwestern recap. Michigan wins 24-22 on a Dominic Zavada walk-off field goal. I want to start with just giving Dominic props. It's been a tough year for him. Obviously, it has not been the standard we are used to seeing him at. Obviously last year he was the best kicker in college football, an All-American. I believe it's 6 kicks he has missed this year. So seeing him, win this team a game, especially after missing 2 kicks earlier in the game, which one was a chip shot. Hopefully that can get him some momentum because he would be a big asset to have down the road. We've seen it in many games, whether it's, just off the top of my head, 2022 Illinois, Jake Moody kicking all those kicks to just basically win us the game, save our season. Last year against Ohio State, Zavada with the game winner. He had a 50-plus yarder earlier in the game. So having a reliable kicker is big, and hopefully that can get his momentum up. Excuse me, yeah, his not momentum, his morale up, give him some confidence going to the end of the stretch of the season. Another game filled with self-inflicted wounds, 5 turnovers. You had the end around to the end around to Andrew Marsh, the Samaj fumble, the 2 Bryce picks, the 4th down fumble on the exchange. Just sloppy, man. Just sloppy. You can't do that. You can't do that in games. It's the first Division I team not to have 5 turnovers and win, but the first Division I football team to have 5 turnovers, at a -5 turnover differential and win the game. So basically, having 5 more turnovers than the other team. So can't do that against Ohio State. Doing it against Maryland, you don't want to do it against any team. But I think the good news, if you have 5 turnovers and win the game, you must have pretty much dominated the game on the stat sheet and through the eye test, and Michigan did. 496 yards of offense, almost 500. The defense held Northwestern to less than 250. I've been thinking about this, and I really think this is the best, one of the best, if not the best, maybe besides the second half of the Washington game. The best game that Michigan has played football-wise, schematically. Take the self-inflicted wounds out, take the turnovers out, take everything out. The best football game Michigan has played, I think this is definitely up there. I feel like everything just looked good, man. Obviously, besides the turnovers. Obviously, besides, the self-inflicted wounds. But I think stuff was clicking, man. Michigan dominated the stat sheet again. 500 yards total, 4 yards away from 500 yards of offense. I believe Northwestern had 246, and that came with a lot of short fields, a lot of extra possessions. I think it's the best game Bryce has played, besides the 2 picks for sure. He was phenomenal again, really quarter 1 to quarter 3, and that last drive of the game, he was phenomenal, man. He saw the field really well. He put the throws on the guys. He played really good football. He made the right reads until the 4th quarter, which we will talk about, but he just played really good poised football. I don't know what happened over the bye week, but something must have happened because it really just looked like it started clicking. Against the Northwestern defense that, by the way, is not like a crappy missed assignment. They're a disciplined team. They're going to be in their spots. They're going to have the right assignments. They're physical. So that's, even though the record might not be there, the opponent might not be there. Northwestern's a team that it's not going to come easy to, and Bryce looked phenomenal. He just the guys were open. He made the throws. He just put it on him, and he made some really good tight throws too. He just looked poised, made some, again, eye-opening throws, but more importantly, made the throws again, like I just said, that were given to him, that were open, that were there, that we have not seen these last couple weeks. You know, in the Purdue game, there were a lot of open guys schemed up that he just missed. He did not do that against Northwestern. Run game was phenomenal again. I was thinking this earlier. I think this is one of the best run blocking teams in the country. You know, the first quarter, it was rough. So I was at the game. The first quarter, the run game was not there, and I was saying to myself, geez, man, when Bryce finally looks good, like this is how our run game looks, Bryce finally starts looking like that. Number 1 overall recruit, slinging it, throwing dimes. And now he can't run block? Like, are you kidding me? I don't know if they heard the voice in my head or what, but second to fourth quarter, man, they just gashed Northwestern up front. And keep in mind, man, I get the talent's not there, but that's a Northwestern team that plays physical, that's well coached, that's disciplined, physical again. That's not a team that you can just push around very often, you know, a type of team like that. And Michigan just gashed them up front, man, gashed. There were holes that I mean, it was just beautiful to see. The O-line continues to play well, run blocking. You know, Jordan Marshall obviously had a great game, 140 yards. I believe the number was around. Obviously gets hurt in the fourth quarter on that big run, but it looks like looks like he'll be fine, at least for Ohio State. Trone says he's day-to-day right now for this week, but he's confident he'll be ready for the Buckeyes. Bryson Cusdall, man, shout out to him. He came and played phenomenal football. And I think part of that, you know, I'm just going to be honest, I think part of the reason is because the O-line was just gashing him again. But that's not an easy spot, man. RB3 haven't played very much, and to come in and run hard, he's got to burst. Like Justice does. And to just come in and do that, what he did, I believe it was 14 carries, 53 yards, somewhere in that ballpark. He played a phenomenal game. I thought Bryson Cusdall played really well for coming in and, you know, in that situation. Obviously, Andrew Marsh, there's a star in the making, man, in front of our eyes. He's just that catch in the fourth quarter on the last drive. That's legendary. Like, that's Michigan stuff, man. That's Michigan stuff. You know, I don't know what will happen for the rest of the season, but I guarantee you, if Michigan goes on and beats Ohio State and makes the playoffs, that catch is going to be remembered for a long time in Michigan football history. That's just a great catch. And not just that catch. 12 receptions, 189 yards, breaking tackles, making guys miss, beating them on routes. Just a phenomenal game from Andrew Marsh. And I know he's not going away. He's only going up, man. You know, he went from not playing at all to the first game to now he's one of the best receivers in the Big Ten, for sure. Wide receiver 1 alongside Donovan McCulley. Going to the defensive side of the ball, I thought the D played very solid. Held Northwestern on a lot of short fields again because of all the turnovers. I thought the run defense has been questionable really this year. That's kind of been one of the weaknesses I feel from just watching the games. But I thought the D line played a really, really good game, stopping the run on Saturday. Didn't get any sacks, but again, that's a good Northwestern O-line. Still got pressure, you know, not a big flash game, but I thought the D-line played well. How about Jordan Young, man, the true freshman? Like, this is how it's so promising for Michigan in the future. You got a true freshman, not a true freshman like Andrew Marsh, who has played a lot, a true freshman that has not played really at all. Jordan Young comes in, gets beat on the route at first, but stays with it, makes a great play on the ball, stabbing that away with his left hand. Jordan Young, shout out to you. What a play. That's going to be remembered. Game-saving play right there. Just recapping this game overall, I think there's a lot of positives to take away. A lot of positives. But again, when you dominate the stat sheet like that, I'll recap it one more time. 500 yards of offense for Michigan, 245 for Northwestern. Just a domination on the stat sheet. And you only win on a game-winning field goal. There's obviously stuff you got to clean up. And there is stuff for Michigan to clean up. Because here's the thing, man. I truly believe that if Michigan plays the way they did football, schematically wise, and throw away all of the self-inflicted wounds, that performance from Michigan can beat Ohio State on November 29th. I do. I honestly think that. I thought that was a great performance, but the other stuff has got to be cleaned up because that will never beat Ohio State. Again, I think the way Michigan played football-wise, eliminate the self shots to yourself, that performance is good enough to beat Ohio State and make the playoffs. That's what I believe. But you've got to clean up the turnovers, the self-inflicted wounds. And again, just survive in advance, man. One's a win, 8-2, youngest team in the Big Ten. It hasn't been pretty, but I think there's a lot of positive things to take away. From this game. So now moving on to the Maryland preview. Last game of the year before the big one. Can't overlook it, man. Michigan plays Maryland Saturday, 4 Eastern time on Big Ten Network. The Terps have lost 6 straight. They sit at 4-6. I'm 90% sure. Listen, the week before Ohio State is always a dogfight. It always has been. Examples. 2022, Illinois. I know it wasn't Maryland, but that was at home to an Illinois team that wasn't that good. I mean, you guys all remember that game. Jake Moody had to come in, game-winning field goal. The Natty team, 2023, against Maryland on the road, was a scare. I think the final score was 31-24. JJ threw a pick in the fourth quarter, up by less than a touchdown, I believe. It was a big dogfight, man. Scary. You can't overlook a game like this. I have a little more hope they won't because, again, they're not in those situations like those teams where it's, oh, yeah, we're number 3 in the country, number 2 in the country, we're undefeated, we got 1 loss, we're playing great. This team is more of a, we need to fix some stuff, so we have to win. So I'm not as worried about that, but you still can't overlook this game. What I'm looking for out of this game is the football performance from last week, offensively and defensively, but just, again, eliminate the self-inflicted wounds. I said it last week on the show. I need to see Michigan put together a full 60 game, clean, good football, good scheme, stuff like that, a full game for 60 minutes. I think the game was full last week on Saturday if you eliminate obviously the turnovers and the self-inflicted wounds. So that's what I'm really wanting to see. The performance football-wise we saw Saturday, and then eliminate all the shots to yourself. Continue to let Bryce get in a groove before the game. Make sure he's comfortable. Make sure he's ready to go. Keep feeding the receivers, Andrew Marsh, Donovan McCulley. Get the tight ends involved. I'd like to see a little bit more. They've been pretty quiet. I don't know Hogan Hansen. I don't know what his deal is. I don't know if he'll be back, but Marlon Klein, Zach Marshall, Deacon Tonelli played a lot Saturday. Get them involved. Just a side note, I don't know about Jordan. I would assume he's not going to play this week. But if he's anything to where he could play, but he's still not there, do not play him. However, have him suit up. Michigan did a similar thing actually on the road at Maryland 2021 with Blake Corum. He had that ankle injury, if you guys remember, towards the end of the year, and he did not play towards Maryland, but he did suit up. I would do the same thing with Jordan. Now listen, if he's totally not ready, then don't suit him, obviously. But if he's a 50-50, could play, we don't know, he could, but he's still not there. Don't play him, suit him up in case Michigan's down and we're like, okay, we really need a spark for our main guy. Then he's ready to go. One thing I want to see is the O-line to have better pass protection. I feel it was better Saturday against Northwestern. I just think it still needs to be better because that Ohio State pass rush, again, I'm saying don't overlook the game, and I'm overlooking that already. But in prep for Ohio State, I'll just be honest, that's a good pass rush, really good pass rush. Maryland has a decent pass rush too. So pass protection's got to be better. I want to see Bryce stay in the pocket a little bit more, man. He played great Saturday, but there were a few plays. It was the fourth quarter, is that scramble he had the first down on, but the protection was not bad, and he kind of just bailed. got to stay in the pocket, man. I feel like that's a big thing coming from high school, but that's one thing I would like to stay and work on, man. Just stay in the pocket until you really need to escape. And then defensively, the secondary, I need to see a little more out of. The corners are playing better in terms of getting off the ball and staying with the receiver. I don't know why they don't turn around, really. I don't know. Zeke Berry, there were a couple times where he's just there and then he just doesn't turn. I don't really get it. The Jordan Young one was a little different because he got beat, so he was trying to make up ground. But there's times when like Zeke or Jair, TJ, they're with the guy and then they just don't turn. It's good coverage and they just don't turn. It's either a PI or the guy can just come back to the ball. So I need to see a little bit more from them this week, obviously, because we know the receiving core that team Ohio State has. So overall, that's what I'm looking for in the Maryland game. We'll wrap up with this. Listen, 8-2. I don't care what you think, man. Just support the boys. They're playing football in November. I always say this. You can complain all you want, man, about how this team looks and, the mistakes and the blah, blah, blah. But you should be lucky. I mean, you are lucky, and you should be thankful, man, that the team you root for is playing meaningful football in November. You look at a team like LSU. I mean, how do you feel for those fans, man? It doesn't matter anymore. I don't care how bad the team looks at points. I don't care how many self-inflicted mistakes there are. There's stuff to be excited about, again, like I said Saturday. But more importantly, you should be blessed that your team is playing for something the week before Thanksgiving. Like, that's something, it could be a lot worse, man. I personally didn't, but, I've been through a couple Harbaugh years where you're 8-3 going into the game, or the COVID year, 2017, 2019, where nothing matters. My relatives went through, the Rich Rod years and the Brady Hoke years where it just doesn't even matter. The fact that we are playing meaningful football in November, late November, the week before Thanksgiving, means something. So support the boys and don't give up hope, because, again, I think there's a lot of stuff to be excited about from what we saw Saturday, but we've just got to clean up the self-inflicted stuff. Okay, that'll wrap it up for this week's episode of the Wolverine Swag Show. Thank you guys for watching. Remember, follow everything we've got. Next time, we'll be with the instant reaction from the Maryland game. And we'll see you guys next week. Okay, bye.